Good evening, one and all. On behalf of the Department of Civil Engineering, Mohammed Satak, AG, College of Engineering, I welcome all the participants, our speaker, faculty members, students, research scholars, and practicing engineers who have joined us today for this national webinar on Scope for Civil Engineers in Building Information Modeling. With great sense of honor, I would like to introduce the speaker for today, Mr. P. Najesh. Mr. Najesh is now working as a senior BIM modeler for bridges at Covey India Private Limited. He has done detailing and modeling for more than 40 overseas projects, and a few to mention are True North Square, Canada, Jimma Power Plant, Malaysia, Museum of Future, Dubai, and Newstead Tower at Australia. We are honored to have you with us, sir. Thank you for accepting our invitation. I now request Mr. Najesh to take over the session.
Good evening, everyone. Today, I hope you all will be well and safe during this pandemic. Today, our session, we will see the scope for civil engineers in BIM industry. So first, I will start with a short description about myself. So my name is Najesh, and I'm working as a senior BIM modeler in Covey, India now. So I started my career as a trainee design engineer in Hocktiff, India in Chennai. So after that, I worked there for 3.5 years. And after that, I went to Advanced Engineering Services in Cochin. Again, as a BIM modeler, I worked for 1 year in some Australian projects and Middle East projects. Later, I went to Malaysia and joined Eastern Pretech. And I worked there for 6 months in a power plant project. And then finally, I joined Covey India as a senior BIM modeler for international bridges. So I have given my LinkedIn link at the bottom of this presentation. So if anyone wish to connect, you can connect through the LinkedIn. So success occurs when opportunity meets preparation. So if you want to be succeed, so the opportunity will be given by the employer, but we should be prepared ourselves to get that opportunity. So how we are going to prepare ourselves to meet the current requirement in the market. So that is what we are going to see in that entire presentation. So once we get graduated, so we have several options in the industry to choose our job. So some people move to the government sector, and there is contractors where you will get jobs like site execution and estimation. And today we are going to see the job opportunities provided by the consultant sites. So who are all consultants? So consultant is someone who can be an architect, who can be a structural engineer, and there is another division also which is MEP engineers. So in consultants, there is 2 different teams working. So one will be designing the project, and another is BIM, doing BIM and drafting works. So what are the 2 major industries in the market? Is one is steel and another one is concrete. So we will see how a project will start in the market. So for example, the government will announce a project. So they will give it for the tender. So once it's given for the tender, the contractor will start the tender design. So they will start to prepare the tender design. So they have to assign the consultants. So what the contractors will do is they will assign 3 consultants, like architect and a structural consultant and a MEP consultants. So now the current market requires, while submitting the tender design, they require a BIM model along with their tender. So these consultants will work on the initial tender design along with a BIM model for bidding the projects. So once these things were submitted to the contractors, and then after a successful bid, it will come as a detailed design. So this is how the project works in our industry. So today we will move to the major topic. So we will see what is BIM. So what is the difference between a 3D model and a BIM model, which which give you a visual representation, but a BIM model is something which have a more information in it. So we will see some examples in the coming slides. So what is the advantage of choosing the BIM industry? So the advantage comes right from we can work in a project from anywhere by sitting anywhere, for example, from any city. So we can work in projects all around the world. So we can work according to any kind of codes, because we study our engineering based on Indian standard codes, for example, but we are eligible to work in BIM industry for any type of codes. For example, there is Eurocode, and there is British standards, and there is ACI codes, and for Australian standard there is different codes. So you can work, if you choose to work in BIM industry, you can work accordingly based on any type of codes. So this is the major advantage when you choose BIM. For example, in case if you choose structural, if you want to become a structural engineer, or if you want to become a design engineer, so the major challenge will be like how to work accordingly with the codes. Uh, there is a limitation, like when we study from the background of IS codes, we are allowed to design only the projects from India. So if some projects come from the abroad, you are not eligible to design that. So for that, you should have done the masters from abroad to work on such kind of projects, which is quite challenging in India especially. So people choose BIM as a unique platform where you get opportunities from everywhere. You get opportunities to work on any kind of projects across the world. And so, how do we prepare ourselves to find a job in the BIM industry? That is what we are going to see next. So to get a job into the BIM industry, we should know some basic softwares with a basic knowledge, to be specific. So we just need a basic knowledge of some softwares to get a job. So there are n number of softwares available in the industry, and what you see in the screen are some examples, and I think even in future, these numbers will go high. And from this, I have just specified the top softwares that were ruling the industry. So, which are from Autodesk, AutoCAD, and Revit architecture. AutoCAD is used for drafting purpose, and Revit architecture is used for 3D modeling and rebar detailing, and also for MEP services. And Tekla is a software given by Trimble. It is the software used to design steel structures, and also for rebar detailing in 3D. And SketchUp is a, and from Bentley, there are softwares like MicroStation and StatPro. So MicroStation is again a drafting, 2D drafting software, and StatPro is a design software, which is very famous in our industry. So apart from all these software, nowadays, parametric softwares are ruling our industry. Like there is Dynamo, Grasshopper, and Rhino. So what is parametric modeling is something like you can program program the scripts, and by these scripts we can create model. So you can control the model using the scripts. So this is the new technology that is currently available in our industry. So this is how BIM industry works. Like there is collaboration between each and every software, software for their projects. So our our basic need is to learn the basic 3D detailing and a basic 2D. Example of how BIM industry works. This is a model which is created using Tekla. It side see component, like can also give a product name, something like that. So all these things is termed as BIM. Like it's not only a 3D model, it will give you some information also. And again, this is what we do in Rebar. So we do the rebar detailing in using the BIM softwares. So I have just selected a bar, and you can see the description which is given here, like the length of the bar, total weight of the bar, and grade that we use, how many numbers, quantity, size, and shape codes. So this is the major use of the BIM industry, and using of why they are using BIM softwares for their projects. So you get everything detailed to up to some precision. So it is you can visualize things before you get into reality. So you can detect clashes. So this is the major use of using BIM softwares. So before you get decided to find a job, you should choose the sector which you are going to approach. So you can get a job in any sectors in our industry, but before that you should know which are the sectors are using BIM as a major tool. For example, there are departments like building and tunnels, infrastructure, airport, highways, industries, etc. So once you get graduated and you are out from your college, you can approach any companies or you can choose any sector to join as a trainee or a junior BIM engineer. So, for example, in our company, they recruit people through BIM school. There is an option they give to the young graduates every year during the time of January. So they will give the notification in their website. So they will select some 20 candidates, and they will give training for 3 months in different sectors, and then they will they will conduct a final interview to select the right skilled person into the company. So all others will be given a certificate, a training certificate for 3 months. With that, they can approach some other companies and find their jobs. So next, how to know what are the companies available in India, so where we can approach. So for that, uh, we should know where we can get all this information. So for that, I will suggest ENR, which is the Engineering News Record. It is a website where you will get all the latest news about our industry day by day, and you will get all the list of companies, the top list of companies every year. It will get updated every year according to their ranks and according to their nature of work. For example, there are listing based on contractors, there are listing based on international design firms, there are listing based on MEP, there is listing based on architecture. So our main focus is towards the international design firms. So the next question will be whether these companies are available in India. So what you see in the right side is a list of top international design firms for the year 2019, which was released in ENR website. So most of these companies are having an office in India. You can check that. For example, we say Wood, they are having an office in Kolkata. The WSP, they are having an office in Bangalore, and Jacobs, they are having office in Mumbai and Kolkata. ACOM, they are having an office in Bangalore and Gurgaon. Arcadis, they are having 3 offices in Bangalore. SNC Lavalin, they are also having a office in Bangalore. So it goes on. So this list goes on. So what will be our responsibility is like go to ENR website, know about the current market, what are the projects running all over the world, and also check all these design firms which are having branches in India, and try to approach each and every company for a job. So before that, improve your skills through any of the softwares and approach these companies. You don't need to be a master in any software. You just need a very basic knowledge about the software, about the 3D modeling or BIM. So with that knowledge, you can approach any company, because according to their working procedure, they will give you training and they will mold you up for their requirement. So next, you need to create a LinkedIn profile, which is a professional way to approach any companies. So what you see in the right side is my LinkedIn profile. So what you need is a basic information about your skills, what you have done so far. So you can add everything in this website. It is a professional things like Facebook or Instagram. So this is called a professional platform. And in this website, you can follow the companies. As I said earlier, you can find all these companies from the ENR listing, and you can follow all these companies in this LinkedIn website. All these companies having their own page, and also they will list out the jobs from their companies in that page. So you can also apply for a job using this website, which will be very professional. From my suggestion, I will say this will be the best way to approach a company. And fourth point will be building your network. So don't stay idle in the professional page. Like as I said earlier, it is like a Facebook. You should build your network. So how to build a connection is like you search for BIM related people in the industry. So it will give you the list of people who are working in the BIM industry. Connect with interested people and ask about their work experience and work culture. So you will get an idea about what's happening and how is the working procedure in each and every company. So you will get an idea whether we are capable to take that job, and how we can then you can decide which company we can work on and how we can approach on. So about the careers, as I said earlier, every top company will give notification for a graduate trainee once in every year. Not every time you can approach a company, but the top companies will let out notification to take in the graduate trainee once in every year. So it can be January, it can be April or May, or it can be October or December, but it's up to you. You should follow these companies and follow their careers site to apply for the graduate training. So what they do what they expect. So they expect someone with a basic, as I said, someone with a very basic knowledge, whether it can be 2D, but nowadays I will suggest you to learn 3D also, because most of the industry has already turned over to 3D modeling. So you should also have a 2D plus 3D both skills. So if you have a basic skills, then they will take you as a trainee, then they will train you according to their working culture. So some big companies, they won't take graduate trainees once they get in. They will give you internship. So some companies, you can force them to letter to the, sorry, you can write a mail to the company that you wish to join. So you can approach for an internship for 2 or 3 months. So you will get some basic idea about the working process inside a company. So how the industry runs and how the company works, you will get a brief idea about everything inside a company. So this is another opportunity how we can grab a job. And about jobs in abroad for the BIM industry. So as I said earlier, India is the biggest market for the BIM back offices all around. There are projects all around the world happening, but India is providing the BIM solution for many of the projects around the world. And the major reason is our cost of living and the uh, we get employees in average cost. So the cost effective region, they choose India for the BIM execution. But the design engineers will be from anywhere from any part of the world. But India, as I said, India is a very biggest market for the BIM industry. And what we serve to the world is like for American regions, most of the projects will be based on steel. So we will be providing the steel based design or steel based detailing works. And for European region, most of the projects will be based on concrete. So there we will give concrete based solution. And for Middle East, there is both the industries like steel and concrete. And the African and Australian region, it is a mix, like there will be concrete and steel. And Singapore and Malaysia majorly will be with concrete and steel. So the question is whether we will get a job in BIM in abroad. I can say yes, in Middle East and Malaysia and Singapore, for example. Uh, for uh, for like America or Europe, it will be very tougher to get into the country using our BIM knowledge. The reason is the restriction of the visa, I can say. So how we can get into these countries for a job offer is like you should find a company which is having the branch in India. So once you approach the company in India, then through that company you can go to abroad for these regions, especially which is having the visa restriction. So after that, some people will have a question like once we get into a site, after some gaining some experience, we can go for our own startup. So what about the BIM industry? Again, it is also a big yes, because once you gain experience for 5 or 10 years, you can do your own startup, or you can approach the companies to get your own projects and do it as a freelancing. So it's highly possible, like you can set up your own office in future after 5 or 10 years of experience. But my suggestion will be at least work for 10 years and gain more and more experience in the industry. Like as I said, there are many sectors that are available uh, in our industry. So it will be better if you have knowledge about all these industries like tunnels, bridges, buildings, each and everything. So once you go to start your own startup or own business, you won't get regret like I have studied only buildings, so I'm going to do a project based on buildings for years and years. Because if you do a own startup after 5 years, there are remaining 30-40 years that you have to work on. So with that 5 years of experience in buildings, you cannot uh, keep the wheels running after for the 30 years with the same experience. So it will be very much better, or a very kind advice, to work at least for 10 years on a very different industries before you start your own. Thank you for spending your time, and thank you for the organizers of Mohammed Sadak Engineering College for giving me this opportunity. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving us such a wonderful session. You have enlightened our thoughts about various opportunities for civil engineers in BIM. Thank you, sir. I also express my gratitude to all the participants, faculty members, students, and research scholars of various institutions who have joined with us today. I mentioned a heartfelt thanks to our management, our esteemed director, Mr. Mohammed Satak, our respected principal, Dr. K.S. Srinivasan, our beloved and the most promising administrative officer, Dr. Vijay Kumar, and the most dynamic head of civil engineering department, Mr. Shanmugarajan. Thank you all. Participants, you can now post your questions in the live chat. Your questions will be answered through mail. The feedback link is provided in the live chat. Participants are kindly requested to fill the same to get your e-certificate. We are looking forward to conduct more webinars with eminent speakers, so we expect the same support from you all. We are planning our next webinar on 14th June, which will be on the design of flexible payments using IRC. The registration link for this webinar is also posted in the chat box below. Thank you one and all.